obviously, you see what we got going on with, you know what I'm saying? The little braids and that. New hairstyle, as you can see. And the topic of today's video actually is about reinventing yourself. Understand that you have the opportunity in any moment to reinvent yourself. What I mean by that is sometimes we hold ourselves to preconceived limitations that we've set upon ourselves. And those limitations aren't just about what we can achieve and believing in ourselves in terms of what we can do and all that kind of stuff, but also believing in ourselves in terms of who we can be, who we can become. We box ourselves into a personality that is suboptimal for us. And when you box yourself in, you're failing to recognize that your personality actually creates your personal reality. That was a bit of a bar. Your personality creates your personal reality. So when people are so attached to their personality, for example, let's say now, I don't know, you know that you have, I don't know, you want to be good in school, right? Or college or university or whatever it is, and you're studying. And you have the personality that you don't show up for lessons, for example, and that's just something that you just held on to. You don't have to hold on to that. Or you have the personality that you don't put in work outside of class. Or you have the personality that you do the bare minimum of what's possible, and that's just who you are. That's just how, no, it doesn't have to be who you are. It doesn't have to be how you operate. And that goes beyond the execution of actually working and putting in the things that you know that you need to do to get to where you want to get to. It goes beyond that. It goes to the point of, let's say, for example, I don't know, you identify as shy, as timid. This isn't a reality that you have to hold. In fact, I would say years ago, I identified as shy. I identified as lacking charisma, which is a separate point to shy. These are just things that I identified as. And I also identified as a she-her. No, I'm joking, I didn't. But anyways, I identified as shy. I identified as like really just reserved and things like that. And I actually saw a video on YouTube around that time. And it was talking about the fact that, again, like you can reinvent yourself. I don't remember the exact video now. I have a feeling it may have been a video by Aaron Doughty. But I realized in that moment, the person in the video, they were speaking about how shyness is an excuse. I think it was someone else. It might have even been a live conversation I was having with a mentor, to be honest. But anyways, that's besides the point. I'm relaying a message to you now. Shyness is an excuse. Shyness isn't something that you just have to have, that you just have to hold on to. Shyness is an excuse not to get outside your comfort zone, because what is it? What is shyness? Oh, I don't want to necessarily talk to that person, or I'm hesitant to, I don't know, put myself in that environment or whatever it is. It's not, it's just a personality trait that you've decided to adopt, and decided, whether that be unconsciously or consciously, over time, you've decided that. But you can decide now, if you like being shy, then that's fine as well. If you want to be shy and you're currently not shy, you can decide to be shy as well. That you can reinvent yourself in that way. But if, like myself at the time, I was feeling very much like I was uncomfortable with speaking to people, and even things like being able to have eye contact and stuff like that. I was struggling with this stuff, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to have that be a limitation. And I decided, hold on, I'm going to make a radical shift in my identity. I'm going to radically shift the way that I view myself and the way that I operate. Now, the first step in creating some kind of radical shift like that, well, it doesn't necessarily have to be the first step, but let's say the first step is you need to create a radical shift in your view of yourself. So you need to now, you know what? I'm not shy. I'm not shy anymore. In fact, I'm actually super confident. In fact, I'm actually super outgoing, or whatever it is, yeah? Whatever it is, the trait that you want to embody. Or let's say now you identify as, oh no, I'm not really the kind of person that, I don't know, puts in work, or I'm not really the kind of person that chases the things that I need to do, or whatever. Now, whatever it is, yeah, you don't have to hold on to that personality. And don't take this as, some people are very sensitive. So you may hear this and you may take it as, you may be thinking, nah, but I am shy. And you're trying to fight for your limit. Don't fight for your limitations. Fight for your goals, fight for your dreams, fight for the type of person that you actually want to be, rather than holding on to this version of yourself that's not even serving you. What does it serve you to be shy? You tell me, let me know in the comments. What does it serve you to not be actually doing the things that you know you need to do in order to get your goals done? What does it serve you? You can hold on to all of the reasons and the beliefs that you have around why it makes sense for you to be shy. And sure, it does make sense, or why it makes sense for you to not be executing on the things that you know that you need to do. But that doesn't change the fact that if you don't change it, you're not going to get what you actually want to get. So you have to ask yourself, is it more important to be shy? Is it more important to be lazy? Is it more important to lack discipline? Is it more important to not believe in yourself and maybe that's your identity? Or is it more important for you? And this is a personal decision. You could genuinely choose either option. It's up to you. If you're on this channel, Learning with Lamar, you're probably going to choose the second option I'm about to give. You're going to choose that it's more important for you to get the result. And if it is more important for you to get the result, then you need to do step number 2. So the first step, again, radically shift the way you see yourself. Second step is make some kind of radical action. You need to engage in an action that is going to shift your perspective of yourself. You need to give yourself the evidence, because the problem is, yeah, if you've been a certain type of person for a prolonged period of time, then shifting that worldview of yourself, it's not as simple as just have a radical shift in the way you see yourself and all of a sudden that's that. No, because you're going to stop believing yourself immediately if you don't create a big shift in action that you haven't done before. So for me personally, at that time, right, I remember, and I've done it in multiple different ways and that kind of stuff, but I remember, yeah, there was a situation where I really wanted to take my health more seriously, and I realized that I wasn't taking it seriously. So I was like, what's a radical shift? What's something that I haven't done that would be in alignment with this new version of myself? And something that I hadn't done was a fast for longer than, I believe, 30 hours. I think I hadn't done a water fast for longer than 30 hours. So I decided to go ahead and do that, right? The longest fast I've now done is 43 hours or so, somewhere between 40 and 44. I don't remember the exact number, but over 40. And doing that, kind of like, as I did that, it's like, it was like a refreshed version of myself. It was like, okay, I've never done this before, and I've pushed past a barrier that was previously something that I had actually tried and I kept flopping it. I was like, no, I need to make this radical shift. I need to see myself differently. So I need to give myself proof. I need to give myself evidence that this new version of myself is real and it's not just in my head. So I encourage you, again, first, decide what kind of person you want to be. Make a radical shift, a big shift in how you see yourself, and then actually execute a big shift that would be in alignment with that character. So if it's that you need to, that, I don't know, you feel like you've been lazy, you feel like you haven't been putting in the work that you need to be able to put in, then make a radical shift and put in some work, put in more work than you usually do, right? Or maybe it's, for example, be consistent with the work that you're putting in for longer than you've been consistent before. It's the thing with the radical shift is that it's actually simpler to create the radical shift if you do it like more drastically and faster, I would say, and then you can dial it down. So let's say you do a radical, drastic, I don't know, let's say you can't focus for more than 10 minutes, and then you say, okay, I'm gonna focus for 2 hours, and you just lock in for those 2 hours. That may not be sustainable for you right now in this current moment, but then after that, maybe you do an hour a day or whatever it is, but you do something radical so that you see, you know what, I've never done this before. I'm actually, like, you realize I'm actually changing. I've actually gone through a shift, and it's going to excite you. Yeah. So I believe there was one more thing I was going to mention, but I actually forgot. But with that being said, yeah, that's the source. Radical shift, apply the radical shift, make some kind of radical change, and watch how your life changes. And also recognize and believe and understand that you have the ability to reprogram your personality. It's not something that you just have to hold on to and, oh, this is my personality, so there's nothing else that I can do. No, you can do whatever you want to do. You can become whoever you want to become. And that's not just about the achievement of goals. It's about the achievement of your character. It's about the achievement of who you actually want to be. So really internalize that, because without that belief, you're not going to be able to make it happen. If you still believe that your personality is fixed, you're not going to change it. You're not going to do anything. And if you don't do anything, then you're going to stay the same. You're going to have the same results. And you're going to be like, damn, I didn't make what I wanted to make out of my life. Now, if you're struggling with believing that, if you're struggling with believing that you actually have the potential, go ahead and watch this video here where I help you understand that you're actually more capable than you think. And the things that you think that you can't do are things that you actually can do. So go ahead and watch that video right now. With that being said, I'll catch you in the next video. You've been tuned into Learning with Lamar. We've been doing weekly uploads now. Haven't been doing daily anymore, but we've been doing weekly just like I committed to once I opened the channel. So we're going to keep that up for now. And ideally at some point I'll dial up the intensity, but that's what we're on for now. And just in case the video went, the video's right here. Watch it now, immediately.